We're gonna help fix your writing in about 5 minutes. And not just from me, but actually from another editor as well. And it is going to be incredibly, ironically, and foolishly easy. I am here to adamantly tell you that you absolutely, anxiously, bravely, breathlessly, dangerously, and purposefully need a damn editor. Are you catching on to this bit here? Because that took a lot more takes than it really should have taken. The way we talk and the way we write often diverges. One way this happens is the excessive use of adverbs that end in ly. Those friendly little shits like to clutter up our writing and convolute our meaning, even though they're normal parts of speech. A quick Google search on how to improve your writing will without a doubt come up with all these kinds of results about cutting some of the ly verbs from your writing to make it feel more impactful. As a serial overuser of these annoying adverbs, to the great chagrin of my editor, I could talk at length about them. But I think it's more helpful if this comes from someone whose focus is the actual editing focus, who has done a lot more work in that area than I have. SG George is the acquisition editor from Cursed Dragonship Publishing, and she was kind enough to offer this advice on how to deal with this pesky little problem.
Hi, I'm SG George, freelance editor with Ladybird Editing and acquisitions editor for Cursed Dragonship Publishing. Cut your ly adverbs. They are reminiscent of a fad in older prose and are slowing down the pace of your work considerably. They're slow, they're weak, we can do better. But why? Because using ly adverbs, you double the number of words for an action. The TikTok trained readers have a limited capacity for words before boredom sets in, and your older readers don't have time to afford any words that don't absolutely need to be there. So by cutting the ly adverbs and replacing boring generic actions with punchy alternatives, you're not only conserving your word count for where it counts, but you'll be following another old adage of writing advice. Use strong verbs. He walks lazily becomes he strolled. Aimlessly becomes meandered. Hurriedly becomes jogged. You get the idea. You don't even have to cut all of them, nor should you. But by cutting 80% of them, you will do wonders for your manuscript. I promise your prose will be better for it.
Now, the best part about this tip to me is how you can use it in practice, how you can see it immediately once you fix it. Go and cut some of these ly adverbs from your writing. Just use find it in your writing, cut them and replace them with some of the suggestions that SG George made. And then read it aloud, read it back to yourself. Does it sound better? I think that most of the time you're going to see that it improves the strength of that sentence that you just removed it from, and you didn't lose the context of the sentence in removing it. But I want to caution here and add one more tip from the writing perspective, from my perspective. Don't overthink this during the writing process, during the drafting phases, like first draft, second draft. When I'm writing, I am vaguely aware of my criminal overuse of these ly adverbs, and if I notice it, I'll remove it. But it's not something that I'm focusing on as I'm writing, because usually where all my brain power is at that point is, why the hell did this character do this thing and doesn't make sense? I'm not trying to think so much about the more grammatical issues. That shit comes later, and believe me, it does come later. The ly verb search, that's part of my checklist when I'm trying to go through afterwards, before it goes to my editor, long before it goes to my editor, trying to go through that and see, where did I find it? And the easiest way to do that is just a Control F search, put the ly search in there and just kind of go through them and figure out which ones work and which ones can you remove. Remember that it is a part of speech, and so there may be times where it does serve the purpose. I think the main places where I tend to leave these ly adverbs tends to be in dialogue from characters, because it is something that is used in speech a lot. I have used a lot of ly adverbs in this video alone, and not just the bullshit ones that I used at the beginning. Just like in general, I've used a lot of them because it's kind of how we speak. And remember that no writing rule is absolute. Although that kind of sounds like a really absolute statement, but fuck it. If you want some extra incentive to get rid of these, every single one of these ly adverbs that you leave in, if leave in, don't replace, whatever, if it's excess, you're going to be paying extra for that editing at the end, because editing in general is paid per word. So you're actually benefiting yourself if you cut this shit out when it's not necessary. I want to extend a sincere thank you to SG George for being willing to take the time to give us this little bit of extra advice. Thank you so much to SG George, and please consider thanking SG George down in the comment section below, checking out her website, and checking out her Twitch. I have included links to those down below, so if you want to check out SG George to see if you can get some editing for yourself, or if you want to go over to her Twitch, where I believe she edits live, which is terrifying. I would be terrified to put my writing up there to be edited live, but hey, if you're brave, why not go say hi? I met SG George at the Dallas Fan Expo, the same place where I got to meet Kelly Lynn Colby, also from Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing, who was kind enough to take some time to do a short little interview on the show floor. So the audio actually turned out pretty well, and I did in this video right here. A little just some advice for writers, not just from myself, but also from a publisher and author as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I look forward to doing more things like this with more authors, more editors, because I do think it's really important to get diverse opinions on these and not just listen to one person.